Thank you. It is an honor to be here with you today. This is the National Blackprelaw Conference, and I would not pass the opportunity to be here because I want you to look at me. Look at a native from Mississippi. I wanted to be here with you this afternoon because if I could say anything or show you anything to encourage you to pursue a career in law, that is what I want to do. Now, when you look at me, a little black girl from the state of Mississippi, I want you to see someone from a very poor and economically poor background. Neither of my parents had a high school education. I have 9 siblings, but my parents encouraged and demanded education from each one of us. You are looking at a little black girl who had much love in her family, and that is about all we had. I have been in the practice of law for more than 40 years. And I want to tell you that if you think it is tough now, you think about what it must have been like in Mississippi to pursue a career in law more than 40 years ago. Throughout my career, I have had mentors and supporters, and most have come just right there in my family. But I got a good education from Tougaloo College. Any of you heard of the HBCU, Tougaloo College, out of Jackson, Mississippi? That's my alma mater. That's the school who taught me how to stand strong, and we were eaglets there, and they push us out into the world in careers of law and medicine. That's a small HBCU that has more lawyers and doctors in the state of Mississippi who are African American than any other school. When you look at me today, I want you to see that little girl. I want you to see me as I have grown and where I am now the dean at my alma mater, Mississippi College School of Law. I want you to think about with hard work, because there is nothing special about me. There have been special opportunities that I have been prepared to take the advantage of. But when you look at me, I want you to see someone who was born, reared, and stayed in Mississippi. Someone who went to law school with a commitment, someone who went to college with a commitment that I wanted to be a lawyer. At the time I went to Tougaloo, I did not know but one other African American lawyer, and she was from my hometown, Constance Slaughter. And she had attended Tougaloo, and so that's all I knew in terms of what to do. If I wanted to be a lawyer, it seemed that I needed to follow in that path and attend Tougaloo, and that is the best thing that I have ever done. Tougaloo has a culture of working with students, and at the time to be a part of the fight and the struggle in the civil rights movement. Tougaloo prepared us to go into the world and not to lose focus of who we are. And as we are here today, I guess if I had a theme, it would be true to thyself, but more importantly, to know thyself as you're being true to thyself. Now, when you look at me, you're not only looking at the dean of Mississippi College School of Law, one of 2 law schools in the state of Mississippi. You are looking at a black female who is the first woman president of the Mississippi Bar Association. I was the 113th president of the Mississippi Bar Association, leading now over 11,000 lawyers in the state, when there had never been another woman lawyer of the Mississippi Bar. Had been one other African-American male, and that was Justice Reuben Anderson many years ago. But in coming to serve as president of the Mississippi Bar, I was able to give a voice to what we needed to do and work toward in our profession in the state of Mississippi. What I needed to do also was to encourage students, starting with high school students, college students like you are, and students that we have in law school, to continue the course, to pursue their dreams, because I recognize that you are our future. What I would like for each of you to do is not to think about any obstacles or any challenges that you have, but to think about being the change agent for the change that you want to see. Because it is up to you to bring about that change. You must accept leadership positions. You must put yourself in a place to communicate with others to bring about that change. You must be engaged and involved and inclusive in all of the process if you are going to bring about any change here in our society, in your state, in your community, or in your school. You cannot sit by the sidelines and along those sidelines and not get involved. You must show up for things that matter. Now, as we address some of the issues that we all face regardless of where we are, in communicating with others, sometimes we know that we can do that in a dialogue. Other times, you have to be prepared for the confrontation. And I tell you, in growing up and living every day in Mississippi, confrontation is a big part of being Black in that state. But you must prepare yourself to be able to do that. There are times when you can be a negotiator and bring about change. So don't look for any one way to effectuate the change that you want to see. If you can't do it in dialogue, you may have to confront it head on. There are times when you have to negotiate through to get some of that change done. But we live in a competitive environment. And in that environment, there are the expectations that each one of us will have for ourselves and that others will have for us. And we must continue to push through to pursue. Now, when I talk about a competitive environment, that does not mean that it has to be cutthroat. You can be competitive, and you know how to be competitive to get these changes brought about. You just have to be prepared and stay the course. I like to think in terms of, I guess, if I were to leave you with anything to say, remember the 3 S's. Start, stand, and stay. You got to start this course. And in starting the course, you have to have courage and a vision of self and how you want self to make a difference. But you must make a start. And once you make that start, stand firm. Have a commitment that you are going to not only pursue the course, but you are going to stand strong until the very end. And then lastly, you got to stay that course. Don't lose your focus. You must stay the course if you are going to bring about any change. And as I look at you and I consider the world that we live in, I see you as these change agents who I hope are going to be willing to get involved, to stand firm, and to stay involved. And as you do that and pursue your education, recognize that there is an intersection of law and reality. Lawyers must work hard to make the reality connect with the law, because we want the law to become the reality of justice for all. And the only way you can do that is to have a vision. Do not forget who you are. Do not forget the struggles of others who have gone before you to put you in this place at this time to make a difference in this world. And so we started with the first name saying she was not recruiting. I am recruiting for Mississippi College School of Law. I want all of you to come to Jackson, Mississippi. But I do want you to come. I can tell you, there's a lot of change needed in Mississippi, and you can make a difference. Sometimes mere presence alone can make a difference. When I started practicing law more than 40 years ago, I was a litigator. I was in the courtroom, a trial lawyer, and I was the only African-American trial lawyer that would show up. And when I started to show up at trial, my presence alone made a big difference, because the N word could not be used in the courtroom before judges as it had been before. But it took my being there and my having the courage to confront the judges about it, to say, this must stop, to get a change. So you see how sometimes just the small things and being in a place can make a difference. And you need to think about what difference you can make to bring about the change that you want to see. And you come to MC Law, we'll help you do that with a generous scholarship. Thank you.